Good morning and welcome back to HTML5 and CSS3. After 2 or 3 days break, maybe 2 days of break, here we are back with part number 20 for you. I just have to get rid of this caption beginners, as you no longer are beginners now, right? You are at the intermediate level, not at the advanced level. Alright, so congratulations for coming so far. So let's get quickly started with HTML5 today. So what we have done so far is the following, right? We were able to create this, and we were also able to create this effect using jQuery. Now, why not creating a complete login out of it, right? What are we going to create now is we have already created this login div, which is right here. All right. So let's start doing something with this login. All right. Why don't we create a good login here, right? And for that, if I create a header right here, I create a header, okay, and then what I do, I will use an image in the header, so logo, so I'll say img src, and the image that I am going to use is from my desktop perhaps. Where is desktop? Right, I'll go to my HTML website, choose img, and I already have this logo trans image. Now let me quickly go and start styling the header inside logo div, right? So this is my logo div. I'll say, hey, the parent is logo div, but the child is header. Header tag is inside logo div. You mind if I tell you to have width of 100%, whatever is available to you, and you mind if you have height of 100 pixels, right? You mind if you have background anything, because we don't need background here, we just have to give it an alignment sort of thing. So, and I'll say hey, login div, right? So I'll copy this. I just pasted image there, so I just integrated an image. So I'll say you have an img tag inside you. You mind if the width of the image is 120 pixels? You'll say, okay, no problem. Now let us go and see. Oh, I have to click this every now and again. So what I do here first, why don't I just get rid of this display none so that it's available? After the designing is over, then we can display it none so that it's toggled using login, right? But yeah, initially I have just got rid of that. So now this is my header. I suppose it's going to be height of 80 pixels is going to be 70 pixels is going to be sufficient. Yeah, so I'm going to take this width, and it has this logo right here. Let me get rid of the background color. Now you can see my logo is here, and I can say, hey logo, you need to give margin of 10 pixels around you. Now it's given 10 pixels margin, and I'll say, hey, you mind header if you align everything which is in you, which is text align center. I'll give this property text align center, so this will align this logo in the center. Why? Because you can see that header is the parent, right? And when I say parent is going to align everything in it in the center. Now where is img? Img is in the header. Now you can take a look here that the parent div is login div, and it has a sub-parent header, and inside this we are having this. Now once I say that this header is going to have 100 pixels width, but yeah, it is going to align everything in the center, so which means now we are going to have this in the center, and it's also going to remain always in the center. Doesn't matter how much you stretch it, expand it, or collapse it, so it's going to remain in the center forever, always and always and always and always. How many times always? God Almighty knows. Now let's get started with the section, alright, and I will say this is going to be my section for the login, right? And I'll also go and now style this section. I'll say, hey, login div, not header, because section is directly inside login. So the parent of section, you can see that section is not inside header, so the parent of this section div is directly this login div, right? So that's what I'm trying to do here. I'll go and refresh, right, and I'll say, you mind if you have background red just to see the alignment. I don't require it. And if you mind, if I give you width of 100%, I just don't have any design in the mind. Let's see. Something is going to, get prepared while preparing. While preparing, something is prepared. Oh, I am a poet. Right. And now what I say, that you got to take the height, whatever is available. Let me say 200 pixels. Now, what if I give you 200 pixels? Is that sufficient? Yeah, now this is going to be my login, right? Okay, maybe, who knows, is this going to be my login? Yeah, it is going to be my login. Fine then, we don't require this color, so why don't I change color to something pretty nice? All right, you can take this as your login, right? So this is now what my login is going to be like, right? If you want to decrease, increase font, so I don't mind. All right, so now what I do inside this section, all right, I will create a side. All right, I can create, so let me create in this section a side. Yeah, I will create an aside. Right, and inside this aside, I just downloaded an image for login. Right, so let me see how does it look like. So I'll say img src is equivalent to this lock. I just downloaded it from internet. Now you can see it's a big lock. Now this website is locked. Right, it's just a symbol for it just resembles and tells that it's a login screen or something like that, right? I don't know. Okay, so now what we are going to do, we are going to target the image inside section. No, image is inside aside, right? And I say, you mind if your image has the maximum width of 100 pixels, right? So now you see it has come right here. Okay, looks nice, so no problem at all. It looks pretty nice. All right, and I say, you mind if you take margin of 30 pixels around you, and it'll say no problem, I am going to take margin top, margin left, margin bottom, margin right of 30 pixels. I'll say take 70 pixels, who knows. Okay, 70 pixels is too much. Take 50 pixels and take 120 pixels width. Final from my side. Now take margin of 40 pixels then, because I've increased the width. Yeah, it looks much better now, but I don't want it to be here. I want it to be somewhere here. So that's what I say, that hey, aside, you mind if you do the following, right? Aside, you got to do the following. Your width is going to be only 70% of the available area. I'm only giving you 70% of the available area, which this aside is going to take 70% of the available area. And height, it is going to be let's say about 180 pixels, right? Because 200 pixels is section, 180 pixels looks good. Why doesn't it? Let me say background is going to be something pinky. Yeah, now pinky background is given. It's not getting aligned to the center. Now what I do, I'll say also section, because the parent here is section. Now you can see the parent of aside is section. I'll go to section. I'll say, hey section, hello, you mind if you align, if you text align everything to center? He'll say yes, why not, big boss. Now you can see that text align of the section is center, right? And you can also tell here that you mind if you text align, not only text align center, let me give this margin auto. Now aside is coming, you can see in the side, so I have to give automatic margins. I'll say, hey aside, take automatic margins now, right? Now it is coming in the center. But yeah, I will not say text align center to aside. Why would you align text to center? I don't want, right? I'll say text dash align to left, right? And here also I don't want text align center. Let it be aligning to left. Now you have this image at the proper place. Or let me decrease the size, maybe 60%. Alright, it's taking the 60%. Now if I reduce it, fine. So alright, so I will now say this height width is going to be your maximum. Is going to be your maximum width. But what is your minimum dash width going to be? Your minimum width is going to be 200 pixels. I don't want you to just go below 200 pixels. So now, yeah, so it's not going to go now below 200 pixels, or maybe 400 pixels. Let me say minimum height as 400 pixels, or let me increase it to 600 pixels. Right now you can see everything is aligned properly. So minimum width, so it is going to have total width of 60%, but the minimum width, now if you expand, it's not going to be expanded less than 200, because I want my login to come here, right? If I expand it, login is gone. If I say login is coming, but yeah, I don't want it to hide, right? So let me get rid of the pinky. Hey pinky, I don't want you to be here. Now you can see it is aligned at the proper place. Even if you collapse your browser, still it remains consistently where it has to be, right? And now you mind if I tell this aside that go and have another aside. Now we have two asides, right? Now this aside is coming right here. Now why is this aside coming right here? So I will say now I will give this aside only 30% of the width, right? But still it's coming right here. It should not come right here. All right. So now if I do the following, okay, I'll say that you need to display as WebKit box, right? Aside, you need to display yourself as WebKit box, and you need to align to vertical, right? Or maybe to horizontal. Which aside, right? It's not doing anything to this. Okay, just a moment. What if I go to the section? I'll say that align everything towards horizontal. So now, yeah, they are aligning each other towards horizontal side of it, right? If I say vertical, so section is going to take everything in vertical. Now they're coming vertical. I say horizontal, they will come horizontal. So as good as anything. Now if I say, hey, section aside, I need to see your alignment. I find problem in your alignment, so I'll say I will give you green. Green is my favorite. Now you can see they're perfectly aligned, right? Now you can see how perfectly are they aligned to each other, right? Don't you find them perfect? Yeah, they're absolutely aligned perfectly to each other. So this is how we can, if you want to manipulate this, how you manipulate, right? All right, so now one is visible, another is gone. All right, and now if you say that I want you to take only 20% of the available width, okay, is it flexible? No, it's not flexible. Okay, I am taking maximum width 20% and I'm taking minimum width as 30 pixels. So let me see, now you are having them being aligned to each other. Now if I say that you float towards left, what is going to happen? They are going to vanish, right? Okay, now they are coming right each other. So let me just get rid of this 30% and 600 pixels. So they are perfectly poised, so I don't want. Let me lift the background color. Now this is how you, if you want to do, this is how you can do certain different things with this login screen. All right, and if you want this image to float towards right, I say, hey image, you mind if you float towards the right? And now image goes right here. So now we have this login button right here, and what I do now, I'll say I don't want an image here, I want something like hello. Now you can see we are getting hello. I'll say no, I don't want hello. You mind if I have a table with cell spacing, cell padding of 5 pixels and cell spacing of 5 pixels, and if you mind, I want you to take a table row, right? And I want you to have a table division as well, and you have another table division as well. And here I'll say please enter your username. I request you to enter your username. He'll say why not. Give me a space. I'll say why not. Input type is equal to text. Now you're going to take every single input in the text field. Input type text. I'll say name is equal to, or maybe ID is equal to txt, or we can say it's going to be username. Let's call this username or txt username, whatever you call. But I'll give them a unique class. The class is input. So class is going to be input, and I close it down. Now you mind if I have another table row? You'll say why not. Enter your password. Input type password. Now we are going to have unique class here. I'll tell you why. And the name is password. So now the class will be unique. So let me just align it like this. Okay. Now you can see table row, 2 table rows. You mind if I have the third one? Why not? So I will use a checkbox here. I'll say remember me. Remember me forever. Do not forget me. Do not forget me. Do you love this word? Remember me. Oh, how dare you forget me. So that's what we use it for cookies, inshallah, when you learn web application development and higher end web application development using Spring Security, struts in Java. So you will see that we use cookies for this remember me. We actually set something inside the client computer, which is not the point of discussion right now. I will use input type checkbox. Checkbox. Did I spell it right? Checkbox. I don't know. Checkbox, right. And ID is going to be remember. Class is going to be not input. Is it input? Yeah, it is input. Why not? But I say checkbox. I'll change the class here, which is going to be checkbox. I'll say, hey, wait a second. Now I have my login almost ready. But yeah, I have to align it. So I'll say, hey, section. Now section has too much of load these days. All right. So I'll say, hey, section, you mind if I target a table inside you? And the section may say, why not? I'll say, hey, section, take a margin top of 20 pixels and then take automatic margins. Now let's see. It's taking, no, where it is going. Okay, I'll say margin dash top. Take only margin top 20 pixels. Now it's taken. I'll say, hey brother, is 26 pixels sufficient? I'll say no, 30 pixels is sufficient. He'll say no problem. If you say 30 pixels is sufficient, I get to go. Right now, table, I say width is going to be, how much more do you want? I'll say 100%. I don't know where 100% will go. Static. Right, so now 100% looks quite good. Maybe it may not look quite good to you at this time, but yeah, for me it looks better. I will say letter spacing of 1 pixel is my favorite. Okay, we get letter spacing of 1 pixel. That is my favorite. And I say here I want a different color, and the color that I want is perhaps white. Now I get white here. Now instead of white, if you could do this, I'll tell you something about choosing colors. If you go and choose what your background color is, and you go slightly lighter, right? Just a hint of blue and white. Now you can see it looks much better. Just a hint of blue, right? If you think it looks better, tell me. If you think it doesn't look better, tell me still. So doesn't matter. Whatever you think, you can tell me. Right, and why is SI 30 pixel, 30%? Why don't I increase it to 40%? Right. Alright, now we are trying different things here. Why don't I try to have another TR right here and call this nothing at all, and have an input type submit with an ID btn login with a value log in. You mind if you log in? Now we are getting a button as well, but I say button will flow towards right or left. Let's see. Now start styling first and then we'll see. Alright, now what I where do I go? I just have those tongue twisters these days. I'll say I am targeting the table, but wait a second. What do I target inside a table? I target input, right? I target not the input, because I have given common class here, I suppose, right? Yeah, input is the common class given to all. I will say I'm targeting dot input. Dot is used to call class, and I'll say I am giving them width of 100%. If you mind to take 100, take it. If you don't want to take it, still take it. Now you can say it's taken 100%, which looks a bit shabby. I'll say 80%, which looks much better. I'll say height is going to be 30 pixels. So now if I give 30 pixel height, now you can see they're taking height as well. Now if I go to aside, let me do some alignments for you. Okay, aside is text aligning left. Alright, so let's say background. Let me see background color, pinky or orangey. Yeah, it's absolutely alright. I have to just maybe do a different thing for this aside. Alright, why don't I, because this aside is, I don't know, okay, yeah. Why don't I give this aside an ID? Let's say this aside had an ID, right? Login aside, right? And I say, you got to be kidding me, right? And now I say, now hey, login aside, you mind if you take your width as 20% of the available area? Alright, or what happened? Login aside, yeah, I've given it an ID, so it should, alright. Login aside is good, so I don't mind. Aside is having maximum 40%, right? Minimum and maximum weight, so I will make it important. So this means override all the old settings you have. Still not, so if I do this clear both, so it's going to clear the formatting of login aside. Still it's not taking, so I will say, hey, take 200 pixels of width and don't eat my head. Oh no, it's not taking. What is the problem? Why and what is the problem? So what is login aside? It is the div. Yeah, it's an aside with image, so it's taking clearing both, and I'm saying width. Why don't I say maximum width right here, 200? Still it is not going to take. What if I go to login aside and say, hey brother, you mind if you have the background color as this? It's still not bothering about what I say. And what I do now, why do I say text align left? Right. So what do I say? Minimum width is going to be 400. So why don't I do it to both of them? Yeah, now it's being applied to both of them, right? Why? Let me do one thing. Let me not have any width right here, and let me see what happens if you're not going to have any width in this aside. And now what if I say I give this an ID, the other aside which has my table is going to have an ID which is login aside, right? And I can say, hey brother, login aside, right? And it is an ID given to this login aside. I'll say, you mind if you have width of 300 pixels. Now what is section? Yeah, section is 100%, right? Login aside, maybe it's not taking any. ASIDE. Okay, I'm closing it. Okay, how can a closing tag take this? It has to be here, right? Please. Okay, now it has agreed on my please. My plead has been accepted, right? I'll say you take whatever is the available area, because I am going to make sure that you are now a WebKit flexible model for me. So this is going to be my flexible model. Right now you can say it has taken the entire thing. The moment I say flexible, it has taken the entire thing, right? And I don't want to say vertical alignment, so I don't want to give it an alignment. Yeah, since it has taken entire thing now. All right, and I don't want to display it like a box. I just want it to be flexible. Right? Yeah, it is now flexible. Now if you go to this aside, which is here, and call this as id image aside, right? So I call this image aside, and I can say, hey, image aside, you mind if you do the following? You take width of login aside, all right, is having the flexible model, and I'll say, why don't you take width of 200 or maybe 300 pixels? Please take the width of 300 pixels. Image aside is taking, right, it's saved. I suppose I did not save it right, So now image is taking, now it's getting better, because you know that flexible model, this has to be fixed and this has to be flexible. I'll give it, let's say, about 40% of the total available area. Now it is being taken. It's taking it slightly, so let me say you got to take 30% of the total available area. Much better, right? Alright, so let me get rid of this color right here, orangey, right? I don't want this, right? And now what did I get rid of? Sorry, where is pinky? A section is background this. Yeah, aside has a background here, right? Fine. Now this is how your login looks like. Yeah, we still have to do few changes, right, in the table maybe, right? Because we just created that table which is here, and we gave it a width of 100%. I'll say I want to give you only 80%. Now it looks better. All right, and I will increase the width of input to 100% available. Yeah, so let me now decrease the width of this table to 60%. Whatever is available, now it looks much better. Now let me give it margin top of 10 more pixels so that it comes, okay, just at the right place. Maybe this image is having margin of 40 pixels. I try and give it 30 pixels. Yeah, absolutely. All right, so now we can see that the login is doing something for us, right? Okay, now fine, we are done with it. So now input has this height, input has this width. Absolutely. All right, you mind if you say background none? I don't want to give background to input type here. Now the background is gone, or you can say I want to give a slight background, which can be maybe a slightly bluish, but very slight different bluish. Now it has a slight different bluish background. You can take it if you want to take it, or if you want to keep the background as white, you keep the background as white. But yeah, give one thing. Let's say border 1 pixels solid #FFF. So I'm giving white border as well. Now you can see this has white border, but yeah, I want it to have the box shadow. You remember we used that box shadow, right? It's here, WebKit box shadow RGB. I say I want to give each and every input type of mine a box shadow, right? So I'll give this a box shadow. Okay, so now we say input is getting a box shadow of RGBA 0.2, I'll say 0.6, 2 pixels, 2 pixels, 3 pixels, 2 pixels, absolutely fine. And it is not getting at all, all right? Because I have to get maybe rid of this border. Okay, what is this? What is this? What is this? Okay, it's my previous class, fine. Alright, now we are at the right place, and I will click on this login right here, right? And after I click on this login, what do I get? I get many different things, right? Let me just take a look at have almost 10 minutes remaining, so we'll be able to complete it today only, right? So now, okay. Now webk.box.shadow, I want it to be 110, 110. What if I say I want it to be 0, 0, 0, which is white box shadow. Now you can see you're having white box shadow. It has just embraced. It will not be able to see unless you give the border, which is 1 pixel solid hash 555. 555, what is that? Secret brand. Okay, FFF. Now dogs have started barking again. Now you can see it looks a bit embossed, right? You can clearly see it looks embossed with this. I'll just decrease it. I don't want to overdo it. Don't underdo things. Do not either overdo them. Just do them perfectly. Maybe 3 is going to be good. Right? So you're totally giving 0, 0, 0, right? So if I say background is equal to, for example, I can give it here RGB. Now I'm taking RGB background. I say 0, 0, 0. What is 0, 0, 0? Now you go to input and see that 0, 0, 0 is actually black, right? 0, 0, 0 means black. So if I say white 255, 255 and 255, which is white, right? So you can even use RGBA, or you can use RGBA and you can see the percentage of effect you want over it. Now you can see the percentage. Now you are slightly, I think it looks much better. What say? Yeah, it looks good. I'll keep it, don't worry. Finalized. So maybe I'll just decrease it to 2. Right, no, I'll increase it to 5. Right, background 5, maybe 6. Much better. And here I'll just decrease the box shadow to 2 and let us see now. Absolutely perfect. Then it looks perfect. It looks absolutely perfect for me. Alright, don't you think it looks perfect? Right, now I have to go and say, hey brother, I have something very shabby in here, which is this btn login. I'll say, hey btn login, you mind if you, right, number one thing that you have to do, you mind if you float towards left? No, it's already left. Why would I? You mind if you float towards right? He'll say yes, why not? Now you can see login button is here, and you'll say, you mind if you give yourself padding, get fat, 10 pixels, oh, too fat. I'll say 3 pixels padding, you are getting too fat. And someone has sent me pins, and look what pins I get, diodes. Fine. So this is my login button right now with 3 pixels of padding, and say I want to give you a width of let's say about 200 pixels, or yeah, 200 pixels. Now 200 pixels width is given. I'll say 150 pixels and height of 25 pixels. You mind if I give you? And it is absolutely taking it because the login button allows login. I'll give height of 30 pixels. Now it takes 30 pixels, right? Remember, me is a bit small, so try and increase that well. Alright, and now let me go and say, hey, you mind if you have background of something that resembles our website, because our website has this color, right? And if you mind, you have border 1 pixel and that too solid, and you mind if you take some darker, and here you mind if you take some lighter background, here you take some darker background. Background is a bit dark and slightly lighter, darker than the background. We are having the border. Now you can see, now this is how it looks like. And now we can say, hey brother, I need your color to be ash FFF, which is going to be this. Now the color is also given as FFF, right? Now you have to apply the same shadow right here, including the border. Now why would you apply background? I don't want to apply background, but since background is also applied, so I just have to apply box shadow here. Let me apply box shadow to this BTN login. Now you can see this is also embossed. This is looking very nice. Believe me, I'll just publish it online and you give me your inputs. How does the login look, right? And it's flexible. Not only flexible, it's hidden. Now it goes. Here the login comes. It's going to be better, right? And this is my login. And you know that you can create a hover, over. Yeah, it's again poem. We are becoming poets and we are becoming web designers, right? And I'll say whenever you hover means whenever you mouse over the login button, you change the background to white, right? So if you change the background to white, all right, so now it's changing the background to white. And you mind if you change your color to what your background was, right? You'll say okay. And you mind if you have your cursor to pointer, you'll say okay, I don't mind. Now you can see, now it's been changed. If you want to apply this kind of effect, you can apply transition as well if you want to apply, right? You can immediately apply any transition you want, right? So now this is your login screen. So let me collapse a bit. Yeah, you cannot collapse it more because it's not the complete responsive design, but yeah, it is ready to fit in all the models of PCs, right? So this is almost 800 by 700 pixels, and this is almost 1080 by 786 pixels, and this is absolutely all right, right? And I'm using it with the higher pixel density this time. I'm recording it using 3000 pixels, right, because we have to record HD. So now remember me is here as well. If you want to style this remember me, you can style it also. Let me take a look at timings. All right, so I have to recap and give you what we have already done. So what we did already, nothing bigger. We said, hey, we already have this login div which we are going to do, and we have lost it. Login div. And I say login div, hey brother, if you hide yourself means if you display yourself absolutely none. So display none means I am hiding you. So now after hiding you, right, now this is my website and I say I need to log in. Satak. Now we get the login screen. We still have to do many validation and every single thing here. But yeah, designing portion is complete. Now you can see it looks nice. And I said, now when someone clicks on you, you have the header and have the main image. The main image is here, all right, and we have given some amount of margin here. And then I said you need to have a section. A section will have two asides, right? This aside and another aside is going to have form. And another, we just styled it. I said first of all, the main thing that we did here was common aside styling. Right? I said go to section and style your aside by just giving it text align left, right? And the second thing that I said, hey section, please display yourself as a WebKit box and your orientation, whatever comes in now login div section, the orientation of that is going to be horizontal. Now you can say horizontal, the images here, and then it follows, the rest follows here, right? And the third thing we said that the section has a height of 180 and margin you're going to take auto and text align to left. Now whatever is in this section, because we're having two asides, if I say, now if you want to see those asides, if I say background red, if I give aside background red, you can see both the asides here, right? And I have refreshed and I go now, because it's flexible model, so it's going to take over, because it's going, they are going to join, so it's like we can say it's almost this much and this is almost this much, right? And I have an idea here as well. What if I say your background color is this? Will I get dual background? Right, so I have given the same one as I'm not getting dual, but what am I getting is absolutely the same what I had earlier. Right, please come. And now you can see you're having dual. I don't want dual, right? So it doesn't look nice. If it had looked nice, I would say, oh, I'm a designer, but it doesn't look nice. So your fault, not my fault. Right now you have this login screen, and how does it slide through? I'll just show you how does it slides through, you can say you're toggling. Now you say whenever you want to see, whenever you click on login, right, you want your button to toggle, right? You can clearly see you want it to toggle with 1000 speed. So now it's toggling sidewise, right? It goes and here it comes, right? So this is how this toggle is going to work. But anyways, back to the main source code, right? And then we designed, and we had this table inside the section, and we style it accordingly. The only thing that we have to do much R&D on, the width and the height and maybe the box shadow, that's, yeah, you have to keep on trying different things unless you find something that really fits in and is also decorative and it resembles with your UI and it gives that better look to your UI. And the first thing that I am going to do, because I know if I close down this video, I am going to absolutely forget it uploading. So I will upload it, right? And I will say, okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do for you is to upload the video, not to upload the video, but to upload what? But to upload nothing but this website. Is it a website? It's a web page, right? Let me go to HTML5 class. Don't mind, I'm having banana. All right. And the first thing that I am going to do today is take it here and I say, hey, I need you to replace your index file in U, right? And then replace, and then I say, hey, I need you to replace your style.css also. Maybe I'll copy both of them, who knows, right? So let's start copying CSS now. Now, please come now. Okay. Now, at this moment in time, my internet is having cardiac arrest. So let me try again. Retrieving directories. Now it is going to come. Someone has injected adrenaline. Now I have started copying it as well, right? So now when it finishes, yeah, I want to replace. Yes, I absolutely want to replace what is already in it. Okay, by the time it finishes, please complete the assignment. I need you to develop the same login screen, which is going to fit in with the resolution of minimum 800 by 600, right? So if it fits in with 800 by 600, that's sufficient box model for you. And then we will see how to develop and design responsive things using HTML5, right? It's not, it may look a bit, lengthier while studying, because I have to do many things, because I don't know myself, because correctly the height that is going to fit in, or the width that is going to fit in, because we have to keep on doing R&D. Is that the height? Is this the height? So that's why it's going to take a bit of time, and unless it takes time, you guys are going to get experienced by time. I'll go to now I'll visit HTML5 class and see how does it look online, right? And please don't send me, I ask you to send me something and then you send something else. No, I tell you to develop one, you develop 0 and then send me. Not going to get convinced with that, right? You have to send me the actual thing that I'm asking you for, and that actual thing is this. As I said, that now since the internet is also having cardiac arrest, I would like to stop the video now here, right? What else? I would be stopping the video. Upload has been successfully done and successfully completed, but the only matter of the fact is that internet is having some cardiac arrest. By the way, internet back in Kashmir is having cardiac arrest since August. What was that? 5th of August 2020. Yeah, it's having cardiac arrest since then. But yeah, do visit the site. It is going to be exactly the same, right? And check it out. Okay, now it has uploaded. Font is not yet loaded, so let it load. Look at my connection this time. It is some G. I don't know what G, but yeah, some G. 1G, 2G, 3G, Parley G. Who knows what G is it? Right? And yeah, please, I don't want to wait too much now. Can I click login? Yeah, we are getting something. And now, yeah, I have not uploaded logo. I'll upload logo and it is going to be ready for you, right? And dogs have started barking, right? I cannot stop them, but I can stop the class. Goodbye, take care, bye bye.